you are someone who is running a business, or if you are someone who is thinking about running a business, or if you are someone who has been running a business for a long time but still are thinking of using digital ways and methods to make it better, or get on Instagram, start doing reels because that's where the business is right now, and you're stuck or you can't figure out these things, this video is right here for you. In this video series, everything will be broken down. Everything will be down to its simplest level. So from simple things like setting up your Google business account to all the way up to running paid ads, everything will be covered. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So step one of this process is to have business clarity. Well, of course, if you are someone who is starting a business, you are very confident about what business you want to do. And I'm very sure that you have spent time and research through, you know what products you're going to sell or what services you're going to do, you know how you're going to sell it, where you're going to locate, everything. These things are fundamentals, and mostly everyone who is running a business has all of this in place. But when it comes to digital being, or when it comes to going online, the businesses do not have some principles set aside. Well, every business has their principles, every business has their own values, but most businesses fail to put them into words and convey those meanings. And this is why your online presence does not just feel as impactful as your offline presence. Step one of building a digital brand or building digitally any brand is to have a good brand identity. So even before you start selling, even before you start your business, or even before you do anything, you will need to have established a good brand identity that you live by. So what exactly is this? What exactly is included in a brand identity? What are the things that you have to take care of? So when you are digital, when you are online and someone comes across your brand, what do they feel? How do they feel? And how do you make them feel? Because when someone physically walks into your store, you are there and you make sure they feel welcomed. You portray a certain energy around the place, which is not the same when it comes online. So you have to take certain measures, use certain colors, use certain words, all these things combined to make sure the customers or your clients, whoever come across you over the internet, will also feel the same way you want them to feel. In this first step, do not worry about establishing anything. Just focus on deciding what you want to do. Do you want your brand to be friendly? Do you want your brand to be mature? Do you want it to be perceived as affordable, or do you want it to be a luxury? How do you want your brand to be perceived? How would you like the people to look at your brand? Write these things down. Write everything down. Once you have done that, in another piece of paper, write these things down. What does your brand do? What do you sell? What is the service you provide? All these things. And then, who are the people you are selling to? And thirdly, why should people choose you? What makes you unique? Why should someone come to you rather than going to some other brand away? Once you have done that, the next thing you have to do is customer analysis. Look into the demographics and start thinking about who will be your future customers. Who are the people you're going to serve? Who do you think are more likely to buy from you? So for example, if I am building a club, I have two different demographics. I can cater to the younger generation, or I can cater to the older generation. So who are the people I want to cater to? What is my business plan? Write all these things down and make sure you have it documented. So once you have done all this, the next thing you have to do is competitor analysis. Go on the internet, look at your competitors and see how do you feel about their brand. What is their brand identity? What colors or what type of logos are they using? How do you feel when you see their brand online? How are they making you feel? What is their brand tone? What is their brand voice? All these things, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to get an overall idea of how things are working and how you want to be unique. Once you have seen all of these things, the next thing you have to do is to actually establish a brand identity. So the easiest or the best way I would recommend you do is to reach out to a graphic designer or a marketing expert with all the information you have and sit down and chat with them. They will make sure that, because most of the things that you have written down, you might not understand. You might feel like it's just you've just written random things. But for a person who has experience in this field, he will actually understand what importance this information are, and he will put together all these little bits and make sure that you get what you wanted. If you don't want to spend money on a marketer, if you don't want all this hassle, if you want to do it by yourself, the next best thing I can suggest you is to go to ChatGPT and type the whole thing you just written out somewhere else. So if you type it all in and send it to ChatGPT, and ask it to create a brand identity for you, ChatGPT will come up with pretty unique and it is pretty accurate. I've tried it so many times. It is accurate and I trust it in this matter. So you will have your brand identity sorted. Once you have the brand identity sorted, the next thing you have to do is to create a logo and also settle down on what kind of visuals or what colors you want to use for the brand. So this is called a brand guideline. To create a brand guideline, once again, you can go to a professional. They will do it very easily for you. And if you don't want it, if you want to do it yourself, very soon I'm thinking of posting a complete guide with every single step that you need to follow to create a really good professional brand guideline. So you can wait for that, or there are hundreds of videos on YouTube which you can follow and create your own. Even though the latter takes more time, I feel like it gives you a much better understanding of your brand if you do it that way. In this process, when you're around shopping for a logo, shopping for a name, and shopping for the visuals, well, make sure that you understand the industry trends. Do not lean into what you like. You might like 90s design, but if the industry is not around that, until and unless you are very confident about your product and you know for sure, irrespective of what your branding is, your product will do well. Do not just do what you like. Follow the industry's standards, follow the rules and regulations, because, or at least learn the rules and regulations, see why things are the way they are. Most of the people do not so good job when selecting their brand's visual image. While coming online, when your brand is online, it's not just about your products, it's about how people see and perceive your brand. If your visual image is not good, if your logo is not good, if your visuals are not good, if the colors are off, then it is very less likely that people will trust you for being an expert. So it is way better that if you can actually put in some effort to understand what is the industry standard, to understand how things work, and do it that way. Once you have done all this, now you have your brand identity in place. Even now you know your brand's tone, you know your brand's voice, you have your logo, you have your visuals, you have your colors ready. The next thing is to decide whether you want a website or not. Well, website is a choice that you can make. Whether you want it or not is up to you. But I would recommend that no matter how big or small your business is, all businesses should have a website where people can go, or just showcasing yourself. Website builds trust. It also gives you access to custom domain emails, which is way more professional. There are numerous benefits to having a website. So if you are a small brand, website is not really a huge investment. You can get it done very easily for very cheap. There are thousands of easy website builders out there. I will also be giving you some tutorials coming forward in this series where you can easily build your brand's website. Other than that, there are thousands and thousands of tutorials on YouTube that you can use to build your brand's website. So that's it for this video. We have sorted your brand identity out. We have sorted your brand guidelines out. We have your website ready. We have the logo, visuals, and colors ready. So the only thing that's left now is to actually launch your brand digitally and make sure it goes viral. All of that details we'll discuss in the next video. Until then, peace.